Greetings and welcome back to House of Abernathy. In this video I'm going to break down episode 4 of WandaVision.
It's Wanda. It's all Wanda.
We start this episode with Monica returning kinda out of dust particles after being blipped. But also during the opening, you can hear the voice of Maria Rambeau, her mother, and also Captain Marvel calling her Lieutenant Trouble. I find it interesting that in Avengers Endgame, this moment is depicted as a sweet moment that half of all life is returning. But in WandaVision, it's just mass chaos everywhere. The hospital's at full capacity. There's people running around everywhere. It's just madness. Then we find out that Maria survived the blip, but she didn't beat the battle with cancer. From this episode, we know that WandaVision takes place after Avengers Endgame and before Spider-Man Far From Home. Later in the video, I'm going to go completely psycho over Jimmy Woo's whiteboard. It's time for the intro. Roll it. Get our first glimpse of SWORD, which stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division. When we see Monica, we see that she's wearing a necklace. Now, that's either the SWORD logo or it looks like Captain Marvel's logo. It's kind of weird that Monica is denied access from the company that her mother created. It's also pretty cool that Maria Rambeau founded SWORD while Peggy Carter founded S.H.I.E.L.D. So Hayward tells Monica that half of his space team disappeared during the blip.
The numbers for the astronaut training program.
Dismal. Lost half my personnel on the blip, and half of those remaining have lost their nerve.
Is this how Marvel's going to introduce Fantastic Four to us? Is it just me, or are you getting some weird corporate evil vibes off of Mr. Hayward? Or is he just jealous of Monica? Notice that when they make it back to his office, that his diplomas make out a hexagon. Is SWORD creating weapons here?
Shifted away from manned missions and refocused on robotics, nanotech, AI, sentient weapons, like it says on the door.
Also a call back to Captain Marvel when Monica says that there's allies in space.
Always was. Full of threats and allies.
This could reference how Monica met Skrulls back in Captain Marvel. Monica's being sent out on a missing persons case with the FBI. Now, the missing person is in the Witness Protection Program. Who is important enough that the FBI is calling SWORD for assistance? Did Hayward send Monica there hoping that she would go missing? Because keep in mind, Hayward is just acting director. So at any moment there could be a shift in power and Monica could take over the company, or maybe someone else will. Or does Hayward want to find the missing person before the FBI does? Could Ralph be the missing person? I like when we meet Jimmy Woo that he does a close-up magic trick, and that's another callback to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
How'd you do it, Scott?
Do what?
The car trick?
If you watch as Monica deploys her drone, it has the same colors as Captain Marvel. And of course she touches the reality bubble, being sucked into Wanda's sitcoms. Moving along, we meet Darcy, and she's from the Thor franchise. Darcy finds levels of CMBR energy waves.
Relic radiation dating back to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
It's actually the same energy that creates TV static. It also dates back to the Big Bang, just like the Infinity Stones.
Bang sends 6 elemental crystals hurtling across the virgin universe.
Wanda either got her powers or unlocked them with an Infinity Stone. The universe has also experienced 4 snaps releasing this kind of radioactive energy.
On this planet, Iron Man.
What other effects will the snaps have on the universe? Is this how we're going to get mutants and lead into the X-Men? Or is this how the Inhumans are going to come about? I love that the Infinity Stones will affect the MCU going forward. Now we have another hexagon sighting with the perimeter of Westview. I'm sure at this point you think I'm crazy talking about hexagons all the time, but I'm sticking with my hive idea. Or is this a reference to Wanda's magic being called hex magic in the comic books? This is also one of Jimmy Woo's questions on the whiteboard. It's revealed that Darcy is the one watching the sitcom at the end of episode 1. Now here's where things get interesting. While SWORD and the FBI are trying to discover who is inside of Westview, notice a couple things. Agnes is on the board, but she doesn't have an ID. Is she even from Westview, or is she covering up the fact that she's Agatha Harkness? Dottie and Ralph are completely missing from the board. They haven't had their pictures printed off, and they don't have any IDs either. Where did they come from? Ralph is either Mephisto, or he's the person from the missing FBI case. Or maybe he's both. We know now that Wanda's reality bubble has a 5-mile radius. It's also written on the board who is behind this, and one of the possibilities is the Skrulls. It's interesting that the FBI and SWORD are aware of them. It's already been announced that we're going to get a Nick Fury show focused on Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is when the Skrulls infiltrate the Avengers and just cause mass chaos dividing them, leaving everyone not knowing who to trust. Were they talking to a Skrull or a teammate? While you're watching my video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It's interesting that the feed is edited when Jimmy is trying to make contact with Wanda through the radio.
Wanda! Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Wanda! Wanda! What?
And again when Monica is being blasted out of Wanda's reality bubble. Who's the editor and who is censoring what's happening inside? Is it Agnes, Mephisto, or could it even be Wanda? Who do you think's doing this? We get another screen transition as we see how Monica is sent out of Westview. She's sent through 4 different walls on her way out. Now, does this represent the 4 snaps that have happened in the MCU, or are they trying to tell us that Monica is breaking the 4th wall? Next is one of the most haunting moments of the MCU. We see Vision's dead body talking like he's some kind of zombie or something.
What is it? What's wrong?
But when the camera cuts back and Wanda has refocused, he's back to normal.
Don't worry, darling. I have everything under control.
Is Wanda actually using Vision's dead body inside of Westview like some kind of puppet? Towards the end of the episode, we see this worried look on Vision's face as he's looking around. As Wanda's looking at the TV, Vision's giving the audience a look, almost as if he's asking for help. Now, you didn't think you were going to get through this video without hearing a theory, right? Theory time.
The devil's in the details, Bev.
That's not the only place he is.
In Avengers Endgame, when Iron Man and Captain America go to a S.H.I.E.L.D. base to retrieve the Tesseract and some Pym particles, this base is located in New Jersey. What if after the blip, Wanda goes in search for Vision's body? Maybe after getting away, she used her magic to create her reality bubble. Or did she make some kind of deal with the devil to bring Vision back to life? I just can't imagine Wanda finding Vision's body and then just creating this reality out of nowhere. Someone had to have planted some kind of idea in her head. I mean, after Endgame, Wanda seemed upset, but she at least appeared stable.
She knows. They both do.
What made her take a dead android body and run off with it? Could Mephisto be filling Wanda's head with lies just so he can steal magic from her? Don't forget, someone has been heavily influencing her to have children.
What about seduction techniques?
School admissions.
It's for the children.
For the children.
Or is everything Wanda and I'm just having a really hard time admitting that she's the evil one? Do you think Wanda created Westview, or better yet, Neighborhood of M, just to bring Vision back? Let me know down below as to why you think Wanda's doing this. I'm hearing rumors that on February 5th, Disney's going to drop 2 episodes of WandaVision to try to keep up with the spoilers that are leaking online. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see y'all next time.